Hello friends, welcome back to Technique. In this video, we will be doing the camera review of the new Moto Edge 60 Fusion. Now, Edge 60 Fusion comes with pretty good hardware. It has the Dimensity 7400 chip. It has IP68 and 69 rating, good capacity battery, and a nice design. And the display is also good. But in this video, we'll be talking about the cameras alone. Now, technically, you have a triple camera setup, but there are only major two cameras. The third one is an RGB sensor, light sensor, and you also get a selfie camera. So let's go straight into the camera to see how good it performs and how is it for this price segment. This device is priced around 23,000. That's the base variant. 8256 is priced 23,000. So for this price segment, that's the 20 to 25,000 price category. How good the cameras are on this device. So before going into the video, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit the red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So first let's talk about the hardware. Now the primary camera is a 50 megapixel Sony Lightyear sensor with optical image stabilization and f1.88 aperture. So that's the primary camera. Then you also have a secondary 13 megapixel camera. It's an ultra wide angle camera. Now generally in this price segment, you either see an 8 megapixel ultra wide or you don't see an ultra wide, you just see the depth sensor. But in this you have a proper 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and then you also get an RGB light sensor, and then on the front panel you get a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So this is a punch hole selfie camera here. So it's a 32 megapixel f2.0 aperture camera. So that's the camera hardware of the Moto Edge 60 Fusion. So let's go straight into the camera samples to see how it performs. So let's have a look at the daylight captures. So when you look at the daylight captures, you can see here there is good amount of details. The colors are pretty much rich, and the details and dynamic range also looks quite okay. But dynamic range is not very consistent. At times the shadows are not resolved properly, and also the color consistency is something which is lacking here. Especially the greens and the reds are slightly distorted in terms of color reproduction. But overall, I would say at this price segment of around the 20 to 25,000 rupees, this won't disappoint users, and the amount of details available is quite good, and the overall clarity also looks good. But there are some areas where Moto could improve. One is the color consistency, especially when there is a lot of red or green or greenery happening. The color is a bit changed, especially in terms of the contrast, the white balance. Everything looks slightly off at times. Now when it comes to the ultra wide angle camera, once again you can see that the colors are slightly off at times, especially when there is a lot of greens, but the dynamic range looks okay, and also the sky colors are rendered pretty well. So I would say this is definitely better than most of the other ultra wide angle cameras in this price segment. So Moto has done a quite good job here in terms of overall details and sharpness levels with the 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Now this phone can also shoot pretty much close-up images. The macro samples also came out quite good. It is taken using the 13 megapixel shooter, so there is good amount of details, and the sharpness levels and the color reproduction also looks good. So this is one of the good cameras in this price segment with the macro shooter available using the ultra wide angle camera. So that's the macro captures taken with the Moto Edge 60 Fusion. Let's move on to the portraits. Once again, here you can see that while the skin tones are good, the edge detection and the overall consistency of the image is kind of lacking. At times you can see that the edge detection is completely flawed, and at times you do get pretty good edge detection. So this is one area, once again you can say that Moto needs to refine a bit more in terms of the portrait experience. You have 3 focal length in terms of portraits, but then they're not really well balanced in terms of color tuning as well as edge detection. So this is one area where Moto should be working on, especially in terms of portraits. Let's move on to the low light condition. Now once again, when you turn on the light mode, there is good amount of details, but at times the sky is kind of overexposed and the colors are not really that impressive. But overall, I would say at this price segment the details are quite good. The noise levels are kept to minimum, although if you zoom in you do see some noise in the images, but overall I would say at this price segment this is quite acceptable, although may not be class leading, it is quite acceptable. If you want better low light, I would say the Nothing Phone 3a offers better experience. Now moving on to the selfie camera. Once again, the color consistency of the skin tones is something which Moto needs to work on. Especially some of the photos, the skin tones are kind of reddish in tone, but some others, the skin tones are pretty much natural. So this is one area where the color balance needs to be fine-tuned. Selfies do turn out to be quite good overall, good details and sharpness levels, and overall the portrait selfies also turned out to be decent. Now moving on to the video recording, it can record 4K 30 FPS with optically made stabilization, and the video footage looks overall good. The stabilization is done well. Even while panning, there is no stutters or jitter happening, and overall the smoothness is good. But once again, colors are not very consistent, especially the greens and the reds. So overall, some fine tuning for the color algorithm needs to be done, but most people won't mind much with the color tuning. Overall, the video quality looks quite good. Now same is the case with the 1080p at 60 fps footage. You do get really good stabilization, and overall the details and sharpness levels are kind of good at this price segment. So only the color tuning needs to be a bit more done well, especially for the video recording and also the photos. Now the ultra wide angle camera can also record 4K videos. That's quite good experience. The 13 megapixel shooter gives almost similar experience as that of the primary camera. So this is the 4K sample taken using the selfie camera on the Moto Edge 60 Fusion. So it can record videos in 4K 30 FPS. That's the maximum resolution supported. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the videos and also the audio output. So that was the detailed camera review of the Moto Edge 60 Fusion. So overall I would say it's quite a satisfactory camera at this price segment, except for the color tuning which messes up at times. The overall experience looks good, but most people won't mind the color experience because at this price segment people would be more interested in social sharing. For that this camera works well, but if you're a person who is looking for the best camera out there in this price segment, I would say Moto Edge 60 Fusion might not be the best out there, but it won't disappoint users with the overall quality offered. Moto needs to work a bit more in terms of fine-tuning the camera experience on their Edge series. That is the camera review of the Moto Edge 60 Fusion 5G. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.